नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. It's so nice to be here in Varanasi. I'm not trying to tease you all. I'm just reminding, when I am here, what are you doing there? Varanasi, Anandavana, the place of Annapurani. Only yesterday I realized the power of Annapurani's energy field. Please understand, it's not only she gives food, the moment you enter this space, your metabolism just goes up. That is the power of the Annapurna's energy field. Just yesterday night I discovered it. Why I feel so blissful? See, the bliss of enlightenment is always there. Why I feel so blissful when I enter Varanasi? I was just looking. Why I feel so healthy the moment I enter the energy field of Varanasi? Because the metabolism goes so high. Literally the body is digesting the air itself. The very air is digested by the body. Body is enjoying the very breath or the energy field of this Anandavana, Varanasi. This place is an ecstasy for people who seek the higher purpose of life. See, the highest purpose is enlightenment, no doubt. But even if somebody is seeking little higher than what they are seeking, even if they are seeking for health, they want complete health, then little higher than what they are seeking. They were looking for wealth, now they are looking for more wealth. That is little higher than what they are seeking. See, highest is enlightenment. But even if you are seeking little higher than what you have in your life, this place does the job. It's really, really, really Anandavana. Even Saraswati in my tongue feels, wow, how can I describe Varanasi? This is most fascinating city. If you understand the chaos and the order and all, this is the most fascinating city. If you don't understand and resist, most frustrating city. This city is like me, always in extreme. If you understand the order, most fascinating. If you resist, most frustrating. I can say this city is literally DNA of Hinduism. It's DNA of Hinduism. That's the only word I can use. One nice thing in this city, nothing is in our control. That is the beauty you need to enjoy in this city. Nothing. Not only weather or temperature, those natural things related to nature, even most common things like you want to go somewhere, or you have your plans to do something, nothing is in your control. You can never be an organized person in Varanasi. You have to taste the flow of life in Varanasi. Everything will be there. Suddenly nothing will be there. Nothing will be there. Suddenly everything will be there. If you don't understand what I am saying, wait, in next few days you will understand. This is really, literally controlled by Mahadeva, the place where he dances, celebrates his own existence, and whatnot. Land of Vishwanatha, protected by, maintained by Kalabhairava, fed, nourished, enriched by Mata Annapurani. Please understand, all of them are not just some dry principle as described by Vedantis. No. When it comes to Hindu gods and goddesses, I am a simple, straightforward, agamic devotee. I am not a Vedanti. When I say Annapurani, Kalabhairava, see, when I say Annapurani, Kalabhairava, Vishwanatha, please understand, they are literally living here and responding in the very physical plane, like how you can talk to your friends or neighbor, relatives, to me and receive response. In that very plane, all of them exist in Varanasi. I am not talking about their deity in the temple. That represents them, no doubt. And I am not talking about they existing in the form of a principle. God exists everywhere. No, relax. I am not a dry Vedanti. Please understand, I am talking straightforward, direct form. They exist. Where you can talk to them, relate with them. See, yesterday, the moment I landed in Varanasi, first thing I did, went and had darshan of Kalabhairava, gave attendance. I am here, bless me, everything should go well. Understand? Varanasi is literally the place where gods make themselves available to everyone, anyone who comes here to relate with them, talk to them, receive blessings, or offer gratitude, whatever may be the purpose. When you are here, when you relate with them, they make themselves available to you physically. And I tell you, I am not giving you false promise. I am talking on a national channel. Please understand, I am talking in a national channel, the nation where only Hindus are targeted, only Hindu gurus are put to the highest possible scrutiny, not to be accepted, but to be rejected. I am talking in that country, in that country's national channel. So I am talking responsibly. Understand, Varanasi is a place where these great gods, goddesses are physically making themselves available. physically, literally making themselves available to everyone who comes here for praying, connecting with them, offering gratitude. As I said, this place is the DNA of Hinduism. DNA of Hinduism. Many times people come and complain to me, oh, this place is so dirty. I tell them, relax a little bit. Understand the load this city is handling. This city is the center of the faith of 100 crore people. Literally billion, 1 billion peoples. Faith center. So this place has to support the spiritual sentiments, needs, the sacred needs of literally billion people. The kind of a load this city has to take is unimaginable. Taking all that load, still this city is surviving without collapsing itself is a miracle. Forget about little dirt here and there you see. And unfortunately, we Hindus don't have any sense of cleanliness or social service. We have high religious sentiments. But we ourselves don't feel when we offer something in the temple, when we offer something in the mutts, monasteries, we should spend little time to clean that place up. We don't have that sense. The dignity of labor is only growing now with us. So naturally, the combination of these two, see, if we don't go, the place will be clean. If we have the sense of cleanliness, that place will be clean. We don't stop going. We will go, but unfortunately still we have not developed that level of sense of cleanliness. So naturally there will be little as per your standard. It is like your backyard is used only once in a while for a small parties. So you can keep it clean. But imagine every night 500 people come there and go. And you don't have anybody to clean it up. This place, hundreds and thousands of people walk in every day to offer prayers, worship, sacred sentiment. The load this city is handling, still this city is surviving itself is a miracle. So, do not complain about cleanliness or anything. This city need to be celebrated. Ramakrishna says, I don't see this city built out of stone, mud, wood, mortar and all that. I see this city is completely built out of gold, golden city. I tell you, I was contemplating why Ramakrishna told this city is a golden city, and basically he doesn't like gold. That is a important thing you need to know. He can't touch gold. He's not like me, nicely wearing gold, and he's not like that kind of a person. I was meditating one day about this. Why Ramakrishna said, actually I was in the boat in the Ganga, and I was looking at the Kashi. Kashi itself is considered as a god here, Kashika Devi. I was thinking why Ramakrishna made this remark. I suddenly saw clearly it is built out of so much of sacred sentiments of billions of devotees, lakhs of sannyasis, millions of seekers, all their sacred sentiment, all their deep devotion, all their yearning for higher purpose, highest purpose. All these sentiments were the foundation for this city to be built, nothing else. So this most sacred city, the most sacred place, built with so much of sacred sentiments, so much of sacredness, that sacred sentiments only Ramakrishna describes as golden city. Varanasi means the place between eyebrows and the nose, third eye. Understand? The very word Varanasi means third eye. And the very inhaling, exhaling action in Varanasi, this very air of Ganga Mata, the breathing space of Ganga Mata, means the air which travels on the Ganga, even inhaling and exhaling that very air, subtly massages third eye and awakens it. Understand? The very air of the Ganga in Varanasi, going in and coming out, massages your third eye and awakens it. This land, even the great personalities like Vyasa, Shankara, even they are not able to sing the glory of Anandavana. Where am I? I may not be able to sing the glory, but I will continue to try. Among the gods, Mahadeva. Among the Kshetras, Varanasi. Among the mantras, Pranava. Among the books, Upanishads. You can't even compare. See, if there is something to compare, you can compare and describe. This city has a unique lifestyle. Even the people, please understand, in this city people see 10,000 sadhus every day. They would have seen all great big Mahatmas. They don't have to go anywhere. If they just sit in their gully, in their pawn shop or chai shop, or just outside their house, in their veranda, they will see all the great Mahatmas of the world. Any Mahatma exists on the planet Earth, they will see them in their outside their house, in the street. But still, yesterday while I am walking, I am seeing the whole gully standing up and doing namaskar. I was thinking, if you see Mahatmas, sadhus, gurus every day in and day out, Babas, sadhus, gurus, and of course Hinduism has tons of them. Literally, I think per 100% we have one temple, and for 100%, per 1,000% we have one guru in Hinduism. If we do the statistics, it may be even less. Seeing so many of them, still I see that it is a joy for them, it's excitement for them. They don't even just do namaskar with the hand, they stand up. They have their own way of respecting. Somebody will tell Har Har Mahadev, somebody will tell Mahadev, somebody will tell Annapurni ki jai, somebody will tell Vishwanath, Bolo Vishwanath, somebody will tell Bole Baba, whatever. But they have their own way of respecting. One thing is sure, no one will miss the opportunity of respecting. See, I have seen many holy cities. I am born in a sacred town in Tiruvannamalai, where people see thousands of sadhus. So they become insensitive to sadhus. I have not seen the natives of Tiruvannamalai people standing up and respecting every sadhu who walks in the street. Natives have become insensitive to sadhus. Maybe the people who come from outside, visitors may respect the sadhus and sannyasis whom they see. Natives have almost become, okay, this is everyday life. But Varanasi, still I am seeing, Varanasi, they must be seeing the Mahatmas, sadhus, at least 100 times more than Tiruvannamalai. But still it is a joy, excitement. I tell you, this city is literally the DNA of Hinduism. The Hindu tradition, the lifestyle, the gullies, the temples, the people, everything. Varanasi has its own culture. I can say Varanasi is its own religion. The way of food, clothes, building, shelter, art, dance, music, handicrafts, everything. Varanasi has its own religion. By its uniqueness, any quality you attribute it to Varanasi, you can attribute that quality to Hinduism. Any quality you see in Hinduism, you can attribute that to Varanasi. The qualities of Hinduism, worshipping everything as God. I tell you, in Varanasi, not only everything is worshipped as God, nothing else exists other than God. There are many religions which say one God. But Varanasi, only God. See, actually, one God is a stupid theory. Only God is the reality. It is. And ability to bear all the invasions, attacks, and stand back. If it's a quality of Hinduism, you can attribute that to Varanasi. Varanasi has seen equal number of invaders. The number of visitors, devotees, sannyasis, it sees the same number of invaders it has seen. But still, it stands. It stands. Actually, whoever invades Varanasi, they just fall in love with Varanasi. Varanasi invades into them with its subtle power. They come with a hard power to invade Varanasi, with the army, all that. But Varanasi's subtle power invades them, and they go back carrying Varanasi inside them. You just need a right context to understand Varanasi, to celebrate Varanasi, everything best humanity has done, whether in the field of philosophy, the field of enlightenment, in the field of spiritual powers, in the field of music, art, architecture, in every field, the best, most ancient civilization on the planet Earth, the Vedic tradition, Sanatana Hindu Dharma tradition, the best they have done is still preserved, protected in this one city. Whether it's a cooking style, eating style, feeding style, or music or dance or philosophy or way of teaching, everything, the best we invented, discovered, developed in our tradition by our research and development, everything is still preserved in this one city in its lifestyle. I don't know how you all feel when I talk about Varanasi, But I am enjoying. That is why I am not able to stop talking about it. I am enjoying it so much. That is why every time I come to Varanasi, at least 1 or 2 days satsang, I won't be able to talk anything else. I know I am supposed to talk on Kathopanishad. But the moment I enter, I am so full of Varanasi. Not only I am devotee of Vishwanatha and Annapurani, I have become a great fan of Varanasi. And everything exists in Varanasi. The way the life is lived, the way death is faced, the way everything is lived. Please understand, when you are driving around in this city, any vehicle on which if you see the shining cloth is tied on a suitcase or luggage, please understand it is not suitcase or luggage, it's a dead body. If the shining color cloth is covered on that luggage end to end completely, understand, it's a dead body. You will see them on auto or taxi or car which is driving next to you. At the most you will hear Ram Nam Satya Hai from those people who are taking the body, who are sitting inside the vehicle. And I have seen, sometimes they nicely offload the body next to a chai shop and all four of them will be standing and sipping a chai. It's not that they disrespect the person who is dead and they must be direct father, mother or close relative. Then when they take the body again they chant only one thing, Ram Nam Satya Hai. Per day almost 300 bodies are burnt, minimum. Sometimes it goes up to even 600 in Manikarnika Ghat. But I have not seen a single person crying in that Manikarnika Ghat. See, I went and sat in Manikarnika Ghat hundreds of days. I have spent time there. So many people bring their bodies, their relatives, near and dear ones' bodies. Once I have seen one bull was dragging the body and bringing it to Manikarnika. Just all alone, one bull, the owner's body. I don't know who tied all the clothes properly, but he was bringing. I have seen with my own eyes. Then the people working the cremation ground, they just offloaded the body and they did the rituals. Not even once I was able to see any one relative crying. It's not that people don't love their near and dear ones here, but they know death here means liberation. Death here means liberation. So strong. It is no more a faith. Please understand. When there is a doubt, 50%, then it can be called as faith. When there is 20% doubt, you can call it as a blind faith. When there is 10% doubt, you can call it as a perception. When there is no place for doubt, it's reality. In Varanasi, the idea, death here is liberation, is a reality. Not even 1% doubt. I've seen the way people hold Varanasi in their inner space. If some place can generate such an amazing inner space, it's reality. Please understand, it's reality. How in Hollywood movies, just the perception, they try to make it look like almost reality, and for the 3-4 hours you literally believe it's a reality. Even though after that no, it was created perception. How they make it look like almost reality. So each country has its own way of expressions of life. Here, it is really, really real. The liberation is a reality. Death here means liberation. That's a reality. It is not just belief, blind belief. Death here means liberation. It's a reality. See, man has many different expressions, like his imagination. The America's imagination is Hollywood. And same way, the kick of playing with probability, that is Las Vegas. Even playing with the probability gives certain kick. After operating that slot machine, waiting for the number to settle, those few seconds kick. That is what makes people addicted to gambling. So the kick of playing with the probability is Las Vegas. The expression of their imaginations is Hollywood. But for Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Varanasi is everything. Our expression of imagination, our kick of playing with probability and what not, and beyond all this. Even imagination is too small word. It's beyond all this. It has gone to the extreme of that sacred sentiments and experience. It is just a reality. It is just a reality. This city the place, it's a spiritual capital of the world. I can go on and on and on. I won't stop. I won't be able to stop speaking about Varanasi. But we will have to go to the next sessions. And today, the next inner awakening is starting in Varanasi. 33rd inner awakening and 30th inner awakening for kids. 33rd inner awakening is starting this IA. We are going to give a breakthrough to IAs. It will be a breakthrough to IAs. That's the way this IA is going to be. So you can expect even the most unexpected. Even the most unexpected, greatest positive possibilities. So you all have to get ready for the introduction session. I know I need to give a little time for all you guys to settle down, jet lag, everything. But in Varanasi, you don't know anything about, you will not have any problems related to this jet lag and all. Because, see, if you get down from one jet and rest only, then you will have jet lag. Varanasi itself is another one jet. You are just moving from one jet to another jet. So you don't have time for jet lagging or anything else. It is Varanasi. Actually, this time the whole organizing Literally, we have taken it upon ourselves. Please understand, last time, food and all that we have given as a contract. Unfortunately, how much ever we tell, we tried our best to make everything organic last time. Those fellows, how much ever we tell, see, there are some things which is really not available, organic, in India, it has become impossible to procure. For example, green chili. Organic green chili is available only in Andhra. Anywhere else, green chili production has become non-organic with chemical. Only in particular areas of Andhra, they still produce green chili and red chili both in organic way. So like that, there are some things not available immediately. If those things they use the regular available market items, okay. But last time we were not able to control even that much. Once they give the contract, what they bring, what they cook. How much ever you scrutinize, suddenly after 10 days they say, all right, if you are not interested, come on, I am stopping cooking. What will we do? In the beginning itself we said, we will cook on our own. And we have 50 volunteers from Tamil Nadu. Please understand. Actually, this time we have more staffs and volunteers than the participants. I said it's okay. We need to train our own battalion, our own group. 50 people, 52 actually, exactly, to tell exact number. 52 people have come. Literally all the groceries in lorries and trucks we brought from south. We procured everything because in Karnataka you get a lot of these organic items. And only few perishable items we were not able to bring. All the non-perishable groceries we brought from there. Here we are trying to source even the perishable, organic, but with all this, still we are struggling that few items are not available organic. But we have, with all our integrity, we put all our effort to serve food as per Mahadeva's instruction. Please understand. Mahadeva has written a beautiful cookbook called Bhagashastra. It's attributed to Mahadeva. I feel the book is so beautiful. Anybody who has written is already in the space of Mahadeva. So we can very boldly, courageously we can say it is written by Mahadeva. Nothing need to be doubted. The book describes beautifully about the cooking vessel, the way of cooking, the temperature need to be maintained for each item to be cooked, and around, I think, 200 items Mahadeva himself has described in a book called Bhagashastra, which was at least, the book must be 20 to 30,000 years old, because the way things are described, the way things available, it's so beautiful. We are, with all our integrity, we have put our 100% effort to serve you guys this time as per the Bhagashastra. Only for this cleaning the vessels and all that, I allowed them to use the modern day soaps and little acid to clean the floor and to clean the vessels. Only for that I allowed them to use chemicals. Because unfortunately Mahadeva is not describing the items for cleaning the vessels. I don't know how that chapter got missed. Only for those things where Mahadeva did not describe, we are using the modern day items. Other than that, literally we are bringing back the original cooking of Mahadeva's family kitchen. So enjoy. It's full of good things from Ayurveda. And literally, not only cooking, all the other arrangements also, we have taken it in our hands directly, without having any contractors or any middleman. So hope we will really serve you. Apart from that, get ready for a great spiritual feast. It's going to be an extraordinary spiritual feast. I'm going to start the third eye initiation from today, day 1. Please understand, the third eye initiation, working on the third eye, is going to be starting today. It's not that 12th day. Of course, the 12th day I am going to start for Shivoham participants. For all the inner awakening participants, I am going to start today, because by 11th day I wanted to finish the third eye process with all you guys. You will all be ready. So I can concentrate on the Shivoham participants on last. Of course, those last 11 days also you will also be having initiation, but I can put a little more time on them. So, the initiation and the process is going to start today for all of you. I really want to make sure that everyone, 100% third eye awakening result, whether you are a kid or adult, this inner awakening. So, I am starting today. The initiation starts on day 1. Get ready for a spiritual blast. Literally, for a spiritual blast. And with this, I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Advaita, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/lifeblissfoundation.